What's up, guys? It is Rad Rover Day. We are out tooling around town, hitting the greenways, checking out storm damage, and you can see from the title of the video what I was going to talk about real quick today. Kind of out of breath. I just did some top speed runs. I'll put the video in here so you can check that out. Hit an amazing top speed on this. Keep in mind it was on a steep downhill. But anyway, I wanted to give you an update on rules, regulations about e-bikes that I've come across. And I'll run through a couple classifications for you. I'll tell you my experience, and I'll tell you how to keep from getting, a violation. So when I was first looking to buy an e-bike, I went on my local website for my town and to see if there's any kind of regulations. Long story short, basically what I came across was it had to be 750 watts or smaller, and it couldn't go more than 20 miles an hour on a flat ground, which is why I got the Rad Rover. It's exactly that. I mean, this is a 20 mile an hour bike, 750 watts on the motor. You can squeak out 24 on level ground if you're lucky. So basically a 20 mile an hour bike. And that's why I got it. I knew I could ride it anywhere and not have any issues. So here we are, like a year and a half later. I wanted to see if there's any updates. I went on my computer this morning to the websites. If you don't know, I live in North Carolina. It's freezing today. Whew. It's like 30 degrees. That's why I'm wearing my motorcycle jacket. But I went on to the town of Cary. That's where I live. Town of Cary website to see what they had about electric bikes. Essentially nothing. There was like no information on it at all. I could find stuff on electric scooters because of all those bird scooters that are around. But it kind of lumped those two together. It just said, bicycles and electric scooters are considered vehicles. So you should be riding them on the road, not the sidewalk, with the flow of traffic, and that they should be registered and the drivers should be licensed, which I found bizarre because how do you register an electric scooter? I don't know. But it brought to mind the bird scooter, which if you've ever tried to rent one of those, you have to put in your driver's license picture and your credit card number. So I originally thought that was because if you steal the scooter, they know who you are. But now I'm thinking maybe it's like a law that they have to show the people renting them are licensed. I don't know. But anyway, there wasn't much on the Town of Cary website, so I then went to the North Carolina DMV website to look around there. And I read General Statute 20, which was long and boring. I just did like Control F, search for the word electric. There's a bunch of stuff there, right? So it had a bunch of classifications. This is considered an electric assist bicycle. It also had a listing for motorized bicycle, which I assume was like one of those little 49cc gas motors they put on bikes sometimes. I don't know, because the definition of the two was basically the same. The next thing they had was moped, and it basically said if it wasn't one of the first two, then it's a moped. And that said, it's got to be less than 30 miles an hour, and got to register it, and it wasn't one of the first two things. And then they had a bizarre one on there too. The fourth classification they had was a an electric personal assistive mobility device. Electric personal assistive mobility device. I assumed that meant like a rascal scooter that old people ride, but then when you read the definition, it says a two-wheeled self-balancing personal transport. So it's basically for segways, and those weren't allowed to go more than 15 miles an hour. So all of this crap doesn't mean really anything, and that's what I'm here to tell you in this video. In my personal experience, no one hassles you on an electric bike or even an electric scooter, really. It doesn't matter, I don't think, really what size the wattage is. I mean, if this was 3,000 watts, maybe it wouldn't be legal or whatever, but it doesn't state anywhere on this bike what the wattage is. No one's ever stopped me. I've ridden through events, crowds of people, ridden on the greenways, ridden on sidewalks, down the middle of the street in the town of Cary, ridden past cops countless times. They don't even pay attention to you. You're not going to get any trouble on this thing. I would say just go ahead and get whatever you want. If I did do it over again, I would get even a stronger motor. I'd get 1,000 watt or more, because like I said, it's not even labeled, so you could tell anybody anything that's in there. So don't worry about it. I think the key to it is, to avoid getting any kind of fines or whatever you're worried about, is just the rule of don't be a jerk. Don't go whipping down the greenway 30 miles an hour, weaving in and out of baby carriages. You're going to get some dirty looks and maybe a complaint. And if you're in town, don't ride through people's flower beds and crush their tulips. You'll be fine. Like I said, the only time people really pay attention is when they see it and they're jealous. They want to be on it. They're not complaining about you being in the way. So, in my experience, you can ride it anywhere with no hassle. So, go out and get one. And thanks for watching today. Click to subscribe if you want to see more. Or, my favorite, leave me a comment. I love comments the most, just to talk about this stuff. You know any regulations I don't know about? Let me know. But I think it's pretty irrelevant at this point. There, maybe in the future when they regulate them more, but right now you can kind of do whatever you want. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave me a comment, and I'll see you later.